UFC 298 just ended, and it was an absolutely insane card. But before we jump into that, UFC 300's main event has just been announced. It's going to be Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. It's going to be an insane main event. But UFC 298 just ended. Let's review the results of each fight, including the prelims, and I'll also review my predictions for each fight, which I make for every single event, and they're based on multiple data science prediction models and fight simulations. Please like and subscribe if you find this interesting, informative, or entertaining, as it'll help keep me motivated in continuing to create content for you all. Plus, you get all picks and analysis right here. So let's jump right in. We ended the night 11 for 12 fights at a 92% accuracy. For the previous 10 events, we're averaging 65%. All-time, we're averaging 67%. All-time pay-per-views only, we're averaging 70%, and all-time fight nights only, we're averaging 66%. All right, up first, we had Andrea Lee versus Miranda Maverick. Maverick emerged victorious with a unanimous decision, despite Lee's desire to rebound from 3 consecutive losses and level her UFC record. Maverick, representing Elevation Fight Team, showcased superior momentum throughout the fight. In the first round, Maverick demonstrated strong control and effective striking, and this trend pretty much continued into the second round, with Maverick maintaining dominance both in striking exchanges and on the ground, where she executed effective ground and pound. Lee attempted to make a comeback in the third round, displaying resilience with submission attempts, but Maverick's consistent pressure and striking superiority secured her that win. The judges' scorecards reflected Maverick's dominance, with the scores 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 in her favor. Despite Lee's efforts, Maverick's well-rounded performance ultimately earned her the unanimous decision victory. I calculated and predicted a 60% probability for Maverick to win, and she won. Up next, we had Obion Elliott versus Valentine Woodburn. Elliott secured a unanimous decision victory. Despite both fighters seeking their first UFC win, Elliott showcased superior control and grappling skills throughout the fight. In the first round, Elliott managed to recover from early damage inflicted by Woodburn's aggressive strikes, utilizing grappling exchanges to dominate the round and secure a 10-9 score on all 3 judges' cards. The trend continued into the second round, with Elliott maintaining composure and control despite the crowd's disapproval of his controlling efforts. Woodburn attempted a comeback in the third round, displaying less exhaustion and landing some strikes, but Elliott's grappling superiority ultimately led him to secure another round on all judges' scorecards. The official decision came in favor of Elliott, with scores of 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28. Despite Woodburn's efforts, Elliott's consistent control and dominance on the ground earned him the unanimous decision victory. I had calculated and predicted a 71% probability for Elliott to win, and he did win. All right, in the next fight, we had Josh Quinlan versus Danny Barlow. Barlow secured a victory via TKO in the third round. Both of these fighters were scouted from Dana White's Contender Series, and they displayed a preference for knockouts, which set the stage for a really intense matchup. In the first round, Barlow showcased his aggressive striking, scoring significant strikes and controlling the pace of the fight. Despite Quinlan's attempts to retaliate with kicks and punches, Barlow's precision and power earned him the round on all the judges' scorecards. The second round saw a continuation of Barlow's dominance, with Quinlan struggling to land significant shots and even enduring a groin kick from Barlow. Barlow's relentless pressure and effective defense thwarted Quinlan's attempts at any kind of comeback. The third round witnessed a flurry of exchanges, with Barlow landing a decisive blow that sent Quinlan to the canvas. Despite Quinlan's effort to recover and return to his feet, Barlow continued to deliver punishing strikes, prompting the referee to intervene and stop the fight. Barlow's victory, marked by a knockout, showcased his skills and earned him a successful debut in the UFC. I had calculated and predicted a 62% probability for Barlow to win, and he did win. All right, in the next fight, we had Mingyang Zhang versus Brendan Ribeiro. Zhang secured a victory via KO in the first round. The fight opened the ESPN prelims and promised explosive action, with both fighters boasting 31 combined finishes in their professional careers. Zhang, who earned his spot in the UFC through the Road to UFC qualifier, faced Ribeiro, a Dana White Contender Series pickup. As the fight commenced, Zhang initiated with low kicks while Ribeiro swung aggressively, landing shots that stunned Zhang momentarily. However, Zhang quickly retaliated with powerful strikes of his own, bloodying Ribeiro's mouth and ultimately knocking him out with a ferocious left hook followed by hammer fists on the ground. Referee Mike Beltran stopped the fight at 1 minute 41 seconds in the first round, declaring Zhang the victor by KO. The dominant performance showcased Zhang's striking power and marked a successful UFC debut for the Chinese contender. I calculated and predicted a 57% probability for Zhang to win, and he did win. In the next fight, we had Rinya Nakamura versus Carlos Vera. Nakamura secured a dominant victory via unanimous decision. Despite Vera stepping in on short notice for his UFC debut against the Japanese fighter Nakamura, who had impressive odds favoring him, the fight displayed Nakamura's grappling ability and control throughout. In the first round, Nakamura swiftly took Vera to the ground, showcasing his ground game skills and defending against Vera's submission attempts while landing heavy ground and pound. The second round saw a similar narrative, with Nakamura maintaining control on the ground, thwarting Vera's escape attempts, and dominating the grappling exchanges. The third round continued in a similar fashion, with Nakamura displaying aggression and landing strikes while controlling Vera on the ground. Although Vera attempted some submissions, Nakamura efficiently defended them and remained in control. The lackluster fight concluded with Nakamura's dominance pretty evident, earning him a unanimous decision victory, with all three judges scoring the bout 30-27 in his favor. And even though the crowd was booing because of the slow pace of the fight, Nakamura's performance showcased his grappling superiority and marked a clear victory in his UFC career. I had calculated and predicted an 84% probability for Nakamura to win, and he did win. In the next fight, we had Marcos Rogerio de Lima versus Junior Tafa. In a unique match where brother replaced brother, Marcos Rogerio de Lima faced Junior Tafa in a heavyweight fight. Originally scheduled to face Justin Tafa, Rogerio de Lima adjusted to the unexpected opponent change and showcased his dominance in the octagon. The fight began with Rogerio de Lima asserting control with leg kicks and strikes, causing Tafa to struggle with his mobility. Despite Tafa's attempts to retaliate with heavy punches, Rogerio de Lima's relentless assault and clinch work kept him on the defense. In the second round, Rogerio de Lima continued to target Tafa's injured leg with brutal calf kicks, ultimately causing Tafa to collapse. Referee Frank Trigg stepped in to stop the fight, awarding Rogerio de Lima the victory via TKO due to leg kicks and punches. While Tafa fought valiantly, Rogerio de Lima's strategic leg kicks and effective ground and pound secured him the win in the second round. I had calculated and predicted a 58% probability for Rogerio de Lima to win, and he did win. In the next fight, we had Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. Lemos, favored slightly in the odds, showcased her striking ability in the first round, landing significant blows while Dern attempted takedowns. Despite Dern's grappling ability, Lemos managed to control the pace of the fight with her striking. In the second round, Lemos continued her dominance, staggering Dern with a powerful right hand and delivering a barrage of strikes that left Dern visibly hurt. Although Dern showed resilience and attempted submission holds, Lemos maintained control and landed heavy shots until the end of the round. In the final round, Dern came out aggressively, landing a big right and attempted takedowns, but Lemos once again ruined her efforts and managed to stay on top for most of the round. Ultimately, the judges scored the fight in favor of Amanda Lemos via unanimous decision with 2-1. I had calculated and predicted a 52% probability for Lemos to win, and she did. This fight put us 7 for 7, 100% accuracy for the prelims. In the next fight, we had Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. In the main card opener, both fighters were eager to extend their respective win streaks. Hernandez, known for his submission skills, faced off against Kopylov, a powerful striker. The first round saw Kopylov controlling the striking exchanges, landing significant kicks and punches while defending Hernandez's takedown attempts. Judges scored the round in favor of Kopylov. However, in the second round, Hernandez showcased his resilience and his grappling ability, eventually securing a rear naked choke submission victory at 3 minutes and 23 seconds into the round. This win marked Hernandez's 5th victory in the UFC, ending Kopylov's 4-fight win streak. I had calculated and predicted a 60% probability for Hernandez to win, and he did. Up next, we had Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo. This was a great fight. In this highly anticipated bantamweight fight, the younger and the rising star Merab Dvalishvili squared off against the former 2-division champion Henry Cejudo, Triple C. Despite Cejudo's impressive record and potential retirement discussion, Dvalishvili was determined to secure a victory and edge closer to a title shot. The first round saw a competitive exchange of strikes and takedowns, with Cejudo initially gaining the upper hand with his striking. However, Dvalishvili showcased his grappling skills, securing a takedown and controlling Cejudo on the ground. The round ended with Cejudo in a dominant position. In the second round, Dvalishvili ramped up his aggression, landing significant strikes and securing a takedown. He applied pressure on Cejudo with relentless grappling and striking, dominating the round. The third round saw Dvalishvili continue his relentless pace, overwhelming Cejudo with strikes and grappling exchanges. Despite Cejudo's efforts to fight back, Dvalishvili maintained control and secured a unanimous decision victory, with all judges scoring the fight 29-28 in his favor. I had calculated and predicted a 65% probability for Merab to win, and he did. Alright, moving to the next fight, we had Geoff Neal versus Ian Garry. In a pivotal welterweight matchup, Geoff Neal faced off against the undefeated Irishman Ian Garry. With tensions high and personal remarks exchanged, the fight promised fireworks. The first round saw Neal taking the lead with effective striking, landing significant leg kicks and punches. Garry, however, remained composed and retaliated with his own strikes, keeping the round pretty competitive. In the second round, Garry began to find his rhythm, utilizing his reach advantage to keep Neal at bay while landing kicks and knees. Neal continued to press forward, landing punches in the clinch, but Garry's movement and striking kept him ahead in the round. The final round saw Neal pushing the pace, attempting to land significant strikes, but Garry's evasive tactics and counter-strikes frustrated Neal's efforts. Despite Neal's aggression, Garry's calculated approach secured him the round and ultimately the fight via a split decision, with the judge scoring it 30-27, 28-29, and 30-27 in favor of Ian Garry. I calculated and predicted a 64% probability for Garry to win, and he did. In the next fight, we had our co-main event, Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. In this co-main event, the middleweight contenders Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa engaged in a closely contested battle. They had similar physical attributes and shared a preference for knockouts, and this fight promised excitement. In the first round, Costa's power shots and aggressive striking gave him an edge, although Whittaker's leg kicks and counterpunches kept him in the fight. The second round saw Whittaker finding his rhythm, landing significant strikes and targeting Costa's lead leg effectively. Despite Costa's resilience, Whittaker's combinations and leg kicks began to take their toll. In the final round, both fighters continued to exchange heavy blows, with Whittaker's jabs and leg kicks landing effectively. Despite Costa's durability, Whittaker's precision striking and damage output secured him the victory via unanimous decision, with the judges scoring it 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27 in favor of Robert Whittaker. I had calculated and predicted a 63% probability for Whittaker to win, and he did. And then we had our glorified main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. In this highly anticipated UFC featherweight title fight, Alexander Volkanovski faced off against Ilia Topuria, and Volkanovski was looking for his sixth defense of his featherweight throne, and he squared off against the undefeated Topuria, who aimed to become the first guy to defeat Volkanovski at 145 pounds. In the first round, Topuria's aggressive striking and powerful punches earned him an advantage, though Volkanovski's kicks kept him in contention. However, in the second round, Topuria's relentless pressure paid off as he landed a lightning-fast right hand that knocked Volkanovski out cold. Volkanovski could not get up for a while. It was very difficult seeing him like that. But with this stunning victory, Topuria became the new UFC featherweight champion, and this marked the beginning of the Topuria era in this division. I had calculated and predicted a 51% probability for Volkanovski to win. However, I got this one wrong. Again, we ended the night 11 of 12 fights. That's 92% accuracy. It was a really good night. So as we wrap up our review of UFC 298, I really hope you found this breakdown of each fight informative and engaging. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Your support keeps me motivated to continue bringing you guys the latest updates and analysis from MMA. Until next time, stay tuned for more action-packed reviews and analysis. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys in the next video.